Uncertainty to Unstoppable. How to Thrive in the Unknown. Written by Ronnie Rowland. Narrated by Roman Cross. Published by Growth Literacy Lounge. Introduction. Have you ever felt stuck because the path ahead was unclear? Have you hesitated to take the next step because you didn't know if it would lead to success or failure? If so, you're not alone. Uncertainty is a part of life, and for many of us, it's the thing that keeps us from moving forward. But what if uncertainty wasn't something to fear? What if, instead of holding you back, the unknown could become the very thing that propels you forward? What if learning to thrive in uncertainty could make you unstoppable? In a world that changes at lightning speed, uncertainty is inevitable. The career you thought would last forever can shift overnight. The path you imagined for your future may no longer be clear, and the goals you once felt sure about may now seem out of reach. We crave guarantees, security, and certainty, but life doesn't offer those things. And that's why learning how to navigate the unknown is one of the most valuable skills you can develop. The reality of the unknown. Most of us are taught to plan, prepare, and control our environments as much as possible. We map out our lives like a carefully planned trip destination, checkpoints, timelines. But the truth is, no matter how carefully we plan, life will always throw us curveballs. The real challenge is not in avoiding the unknown, but in learning how to face it with confidence. What sets successful people apart is not that they avoid uncertainty. They don't have a magic formula for predicting the future. Instead, they've mastered the art of thriving in the unknown. They've figured out how to keep moving forward, even when the path isn't clear. And they've learned to see uncertainty not as a threat, but as a catalyst for growth, innovation, and achievement. Why this book matters now. Right now, we're living in one of the most uncertain times in modern history. The world has been upended by global events, economies have shifted, and the way we live and work has been transformed in ways we couldn't have predicted. In the midst of this chaos, many people feel stuck, overwhelmed, and unsure of how to move forward. But here's the truth: uncertainty is always going to be a part of life. Whether it's a global pandemic, a career change, or a personal crisis, the unknown will always show up in one form or another. The question is not whether you'll face uncertainty, but how you'll respond to it. Uncertainty to Unstoppable is about helping you shift your mindset, reframe fear, and turn uncertainty into your greatest asset. It's about teaching you to stop waiting for the perfect conditions and start taking bold steps, even when the path is unclear. It's about learning how to thrive, not despite uncertainty, but because of it. This book isn't about eliminating uncertainty from your life. It's about learning how to dance with it. It's about reframing your relationship with the unknown and realizing that it's where your greatest growth happens. Whether you're at the beginning of a new chapter in your life or in the middle of an unexpected detour, Uncertainty to Unstoppable will help you harness the power of the unknown to achieve your vision and live your fullest life. You don't need guarantees to succeed. You just need the right mindset, the right strategies, and the willingness to embrace the journey, no matter where it leads. By the end of this book, you'll no longer fear the unknown. You'll be equipped to thrive in it. You'll understand that uncertainty is not a barrier. It's your greatest opportunity for growth and achievement. You'll be unstoppable. We've observed that 67% of our viewers haven't yet subscribed to our channel. We invite you to support us by clicking the subscribe button and liking this video. Your encouragement inspires us to continue creating valuable content for you. Thank you for being a part of our community and fueling our passion for sharing insights and knowledge. Chapter 1. The Visionaries Dilemma. You have a dream, a vision for your life, career, or purpose. But there's something holding you back, the unknown. What if you fail? What if the path is not clear? What if your vision is bigger than your current reality? These are the questions we all face when stepping into the unknown. And yet, every great achievement begins with the same uncertainty. Why uncertainty is part of the journey? Uncertainty feels uncomfortable, but it is a necessary part of pursuing any meaningful vision. When we attempt something new or ambitious, we step into territory where the outcomes are not guaranteed. The truth is, if your vision feels safe or easy, it's probably not big enough. Let's take a moment to understand why uncertainty feels so daunting. Psychologists describe the fear of the unknown as one of the most powerful fears we face as humans. It's deeply rooted in our survival instinct. When our ancestors ventured into uncharted lands, they faced actual life-threatening dangers. Today, that fear has evolved, but it still triggers the same biological responses: doubt, hesitation, and avoidance. Yet, the very act of pursuing a vision demands that we challenge this instinct. Growth, discovery, and innovation thrive in environments where there are no guarantees. If we are always seeking safety, we limit our potential. This is why many of the world's greatest leaders, inventors, and creators learned to thrive in the unknown. They knew it was a doorway to growth. The moment you step into the unknown. Imagine standing at the edge of a forest. Beyond this point, the path is unclear. You know what you want on the other side, but there's no map, no guide, and no assurances. Now you have a choice. You can stay where you are, comfortable but unfulfilled, or you can step forward, uncertain but alive with possibility. This is the Visionaries Dilemma. Every person who has ever achieved something extraordinary had to make that first step into the unknown. Oprah Winfrey, before she became a media powerhouse, faced the uncertainty of leaving a stable job to pursue her dream. Steve Jobs, before Apple became a global icon, dealt with countless unknowns in creating products that didn't exist. Take a moment to reflect. What is your vision? What is the unknown standing between you and that dream? Imagine what could happen if you stepped forward, despite the uncertainty. The unknown is where breakthroughs happen. When you take the leap, you're no longer confined to the boundaries of what you already know. In the uncertainty, you discover new possibilities. You grow. Your vision begins to take shape in ways you never imagined. But how do you face that fear of the unknown? How do you take the leap when everything inside you screams to retreat? It starts with acknowledging that fear. Fear of the unknown is not a sign that you're doing something wrong. It's a sign that you're on the verge of something important. The key is to move forward in spite of that fear, using it as fuel rather than a barrier. Many experts agree that fear is a natural and necessary part of the growth process. Neuroscience shows us that the brain registers fear in the same area as excitement. It means that fear, when managed properly, can be a powerful motivator. The next time you feel fear creeping in as you approach the unknown, try reframing it as excitement. Your body is getting ready for something great. But it's not enough to intellectually understand fear. You need to actively face it. One way to do this is by gradually exposing yourself to small uncertainties. Start by stepping into situations that feel slightly uncomfortable, those moments where you don't have full control. Over time, this builds your tolerance for uncertainty and strengthens your resilience. Here's a simple challenge. Think of one small step you can take today toward your vision. Even if it's something that scares you, it could be starting a conversation you've been avoiding, taking a creative risk, or sharing your idea with someone new. Write it down and commit to doing it within the next 24 hours. Uncertainty is the gateway to growth. What's crucial to remember is this: the unknown is not your enemy, it's your ally. The discomfort of uncertainty is what propels you forward. Every time you take a step into the unknown, you're expanding your capacity, not just for achieving your vision, but for living a fuller, more meaningful life. Look at the most impactful moments in your life so far. Chances are, they were moments where the path was not fully clear, yet you moved forward anyway. These moments of stepping into the unknown are what define us. They help us grow into the kind of people who can carry the vision we've set for ourselves. As you embark on your journey toward your vision, remember that every great achievement begins with a leap into the unknown. It's not the absence of uncertainty that guarantees success, it's your willingness to face it head-on. In the end, uncertainty is where life's most meaningful experiences reside. It's in the unknown that we discover new strengths, insights, and opportunities. And the only way to unlock your full potential is to be bold enough to step forward, even when the path ahead is unclear. What area of your life are you currently holding back because of fear of the unknown? Reflect on how this is impacting your vision. Identify one step you can take this week to step into that uncertainty. It doesn't have to be huge, but it needs to move you toward your vision. Write down how you feel before taking that step and reflect on how you feel afterward. Chapter 2. The Fear of Uncertainty. It's the one thing that has the power to stop us in our tracks, even when our dreams are within reach. When pursuing your vision, it's not just the unknown that is difficult to face, it's the fear that comes with it. Fear can paralyze us, make us question our abilities, and fill our minds with doubts. But here's the thing, fear of the unknown is not a signal to stop, it's a signal that you're stepping into something important. Why we fear the unknown. It's easy to think that fear is something to avoid, but the reality is, fear of the unknown is deeply embedded in our biology. Historically, humans needed to be cautious about the unfamiliar. Unknown territories often meant danger. Today, the stakes are different, but our brains haven't changed much. When faced with uncertainty, our instinct is still to retreat to safety. There's a part of your brain called the amygdala, often referred to as the brain's fear center. When you encounter something unknown or unfamiliar, your amygdala lights up, sending signals that trigger the fight or flight response. This was crucial for survival in ancient times, but in today's world, it can hold us back from pursuing dreams that carry less physical risk, but immense personal reward. However, it's important to understand that not all fear is bad. In fact, fear is often a signal that you're moving toward growth. When you step outside your comfort zone, the fear that comes up is often a sign that you're on the right track, not the wrong one. Fear of the unknown manifests differently for everyone. For some, it's a voice in their head whispering, "You're not good enough." For others, it's the overwhelming need for certainty before taking any action. Whether it's procrastination, perfectionism, or self-doubt, these behaviors are often rooted in fear. Think about the last time you hesitated to take action on something important to you. Was it because the outcome was unclear? Maybe you didn't know if you'd succeed, or you worried about what others might think. That hesitation, that pause before action, is fear at work. But what if instead of seeing that fear as a stop sign, you saw it as a green light? The truth is, the fear of uncertainty is not a barrier, it's an invitation. It's the universe saying, here's an opportunity for growth, for something greater, turning fear into fuel. If fear is inevitable, how do we move forward despite it? The key is learning to transform fear into fuel for action. The goal isn't to eliminate fear, it's to reframe it as a sign of progress rather than danger. Studies in psychology show that when we interpret fear as a challenge rather than a threat, it changes how we respond. Instead of freezing, we become more alert, more focused, and more capable of handling what's ahead. This mindset shift is essential for anyone pursuing a vision, especially when uncertainty is involved. Let's consider this in a real-life context. Many of the world's most successful individuals didn't wait for fear to disappear before acting. They learned to acknowledge their fear and use it as a motivator. Nelson Mandela, for example, once said, "I learned that courage was not the absence of fear, but the triumph over it." 3 practical steps to reframe fear. 1. The first step is recognizing that fear is normal. Instead of pushing it away or denying its existence, acknowledge it. Give it a name. When you identify fear for what it is, you take away its power to control you. 2. Once you've acknowledged your fear, the next step is to reframe it. Ask yourself, what if this fear is a sign that I'm about to break through a barrier? What if fear means I'm on the verge of something great? This small mental shift can change your entire perspective. 3. Fear thrives on inaction. The longer you hesitate, the more power fear gains. Break the cycle by taking just one small step. It doesn't have to be a grand gesture, just something that moves you closer to your vision. Once you take that first step, momentum will start to build, and fear will begin to lose its grip. Let me share a story about someone who faced immense fear of the unknown and triumphed. J.K. Rowling, now one of the world's most successful authors, faced more than her fair share of fear. Before she became famous for Harry Potter, she was a struggling single mother living on welfare. She had no guarantee that her writing would succeed, only the fear that it wouldn't. Despite the fear and uncertainty, Rowling pressed on, writing in coffee shops and sending her manuscript to publishers, many of whom rejected her. She later said in an interview, "I was convinced I was a failure. But rock bottom became the solid foundation on which I rebuilt my life." Rowling's story is a powerful reminder that fear doesn't have to be the end of your journey. If anything, it can be the beginning. Like her, you have the choice to keep moving forward, even when the future is uncertain. As you pursue your vision, you will inevitably face fear. But fear doesn't have to hold you back. In fact, it can become one of your greatest allies, pushing you toward the growth and success you desire. Every time you feel fear creeping in, remember this: fear is a signal that you're stepping into something important. If the path ahead feels uncertain, it means you're doing something that matters. And that is where the magic happens, in the space where fear and vision collide. So what is one fear you've been letting stop you? Take a moment to write it down. Now, reframe that fear. Instead of asking, "What if this goes wrong?" ask, "What if this goes right?" Imagine what could happen if you stepped forward, despite the fear. What fear of the unknown is currently holding you back from pursuing your vision? Take a moment to reflect on how this fear manifests in your life, whether it's procrastination, self-doubt, or hesitation. Identify one small step you can take this week to confront your fear. Write down your fear, reframe it as an opportunity for growth, and commit to taking action despite the uncertainty. Chapter 3. Stepping into the unknown. There comes a moment in every journey where you've dreamed big, acknowledged your fears, and are now faced with the reality of moving forward. It's the moment when you have to take that first step, despite not knowing what lies ahead. The unknown can feel overwhelming, but here's the truth: nothing happens until you take action. When the path is unclear, waiting for perfect conditions can paralyze you. Instead, what if you trusted that the way forward will reveal itself only once you begin? That's the essence of stepping into the unknown, acting without guarantees, confident that the road will become clearer as you go. We often wait for clarity before we act, hoping that the entire path will unfold neatly in front of us. But the reality is, clarity comes through action, not before it. Studies on human behavior suggest that the brain creates a sense of clarity after we start taking action. One of the most famous insights in psychology comes from the work of Timothy D. Wilson, who argues that we often act our way into understanding rather than the other way around. That means the more we move forward, the more we can assess and adjust along the way. If we wait for everything to make sense up front, we'll never start. In simple terms, taking the first step is what makes the next steps possible. Each action helps you gain insight, and with insight comes confidence. Waiting for perfect conditions is like waiting for a bus that's never going to arrive. You're not stuck because the path isn't clear. You're stuck because you're waiting for clarity to magically appear. The power of small, intentional steps. Here's the good news: stepping into the unknown doesn't require a giant leap. In fact, trying to make massive changes all at once can lead to overwhelm and paralysis. Instead, think of your journey as a staircase. All you need is to take the first step, then the next, and the next. Small steps accumulate over time and create momentum. Think about a time when you were paralyzed by the size of a task. Maybe it was starting a new project, changing careers, or pursuing a creative passion. It felt so big that you didn't know where to begin. But when you finally took a small action, just one step, you started to build momentum, and before you knew it, you were moving forward. Every major achievement in history started with a single, imperfect action. No one knows exactly how things will unfold at the beginning, but those who succeed are the ones who start anyway. The power is in the willingness to move, even when the destination is unclear. The concept of the domino effect offers a simple but powerful way to understand how small actions lead to big results. Popularized by Gary Keller in The One Thing, this principle shows how one small action can set off a chain reaction of increasingly significant outcomes. The first domino is the hardest to tip, but once it falls, it sets off a cascade of movement. Researchers have found that small, consistent actions are far more sustainable and effective than large, infrequent bursts of effort. The key to creating momentum is to focus on the next action, not the entire journey. When you focus on just one step, the next one becomes easier, and soon, you're in motion. It's through this consistency that the unknown starts to become more familiar. Here's an example from the real world. Think of Sarah Blakely, founder of Spanx. She had no background in business when she began. She simply had a vision, a product she believed in, and took small, consistent actions toward that vision. She made calls to manufacturers, set up meetings, and dealt with rejection after rejection. But each small step added up. Today, Spanx is a global brand, and Blakely is a billionaire. Her journey wasn't defined by a giant leap into success, but by many small, deliberate steps, taken consistently despite the uncertainty. There's a strange paradox when it comes to pursuing a vision. The unknown only starts to become clear after you begin to take action. The more you move forward, the more opportunities, insights, and resources appear, often in unexpected ways. Picture this. You're standing at the edge of a dense forest. You know what you want on the other side, but the path through the trees is unclear. If you stand still, the forest will always seem impenetrable. But if you take that first step into the woods, something magical happens. The trail slowly starts to reveal itself, one step at a time. This is how the unknown works. You won't always know what comes next, but as you move forward, the road becomes clearer. Think of it like a journey through fog. The further you walk, the more you can see, and before long, the fog lifts and your path is visible. If you're struggling to move forward because the path isn't clear, here are 3 practical strategies to help you step into the unknown. 1. Start with the smallest step. Don't focus on the entire journey, just focus on the next step. What's one small action you can take today that will move you forward? It might be sending an email, having a conversation, or doing a bit of research. These small steps build momentum and lower the stakes, making it easier to take the next step. 2. When the journey feels overwhelming, focus only on the immediate next step. By breaking your vision down into small, manageable pieces, you remove the pressure of having to see the entire path. Instead, ask yourself, what can I do next? This simple question shifts your focus from fear to action. 3. Consistency is the key to progress. Commit to doing something, no matter how small, every day that moves you toward your vision. Over time, these small actions compound into significant momentum. It's not about making massive leaps, it's about staying in motion. Stepping into the unknown is never easy. The fear of uncertainty will always be present, but it's in that first step where transformation begins. Each action you take, no matter how small, opens new doors and brings you closer to your vision. What small step can you take today? Don't wait for the path to be perfectly clear. Trust that it will reveal itself as you go. The unknown is not something to be feared but embraced. It's where growth happens, where new opportunities emerge, and where your vision comes to life. What is one small action you've been avoiding because the path isn't clear? Reflect on how taking that first step might open new doors for you. Commit to one small, intentional action today. Write it down, and once you complete it, reflect on what new clarity or insight emerged as a result. Chapter 4. Building resilience in the face of uncertainty. It's the one quality that separates those who achieve their vision from those who give up when the road becomes rough. Pursuing your dream requires more than ambition and vision. It requires the ability to bounce back when things don't go as planned. And let's be clear, there will be times when they won't. As you step into the unknown, you will face challenges. Moments of failure, self-doubt, and setbacks are inevitable. The key to navigating these moments lies in how resilient you are in the face of them. Resilience is your ability to adapt, recover, and keep moving forward, no matter what obstacles appear. At its core, resilience is about endurance. It's not just about staying strong in the face of difficulty, but about bending without breaking. Resilient people don't avoid challenges or pretend they don't exist. Instead, they acknowledge the struggle, adapt to it, and keep moving forward with renewed strength. Psychologists define resilience as the ability to bounce back from adversity. Research shows that resilience isn't an innate trait that some people are born with. It's a skill that can be developed over time. In fact, studies from the American Psychological Association suggest that the most resilient individuals are those who actively work on their ability to manage stress, reframe challenges, and seek out support when needed. Building resilience doesn't mean avoiding difficulty. It means becoming better at facing it. Why resilience is crucial for pursuing your vision. No one achieves their vision without encountering obstacles. It's easy to stay motivated when things are going smoothly, but the real test comes when the road gets tough. Resilience is what keeps you moving forward when the path becomes uncertain and the obstacles start to stack up. Think of resilience like a muscle. The more you use it, the stronger it becomes. Every time you face a setback and get back up, You're training yourself to be more resilient. And here's the empowering part: every challenge you overcome makes you more capable of handling the next one. That's the beauty of resilience. It compounds over time. Reflect on a time in your life when you faced adversity. Maybe it was a failed project, a lost job, or a personal setback. How did you recover? What did you learn from that experience? Chances are, that moment made you stronger, more adaptable, and more capable of handling future challenges. Resilience is the quality that turns your toughest moments into your greatest sources of strength. There's a pattern to how resilient people navigate challenges. I call it the resilience cycle. 3 stages that help you turn any setback into an opportunity for growth. Adapt, recover, and grow. 1. Adapt. The first stage is recognizing that challenges are a natural part of the journey. Instead of resisting the difficulty, resilient people adapt. They assess the situation, adjust their plans, and find ways to work through the obstacles. 2. Recover. Once you've adapted, the next stage is recovery. Resilient people take time to recover emotionally, mentally, and physically from setbacks. This might mean resting, seeking support, or simply allowing yourself space to heal. Recovery is essential because it allows you to come back stronger. 3. Grow. The final stage is growth. After you've adapted to the challenge and taken time to recover, you can reflect on the experience and extract valuable lessons. Resilient people grow from their setbacks. They don't view failure as a stopping point, but as an opportunity to learn and improve. The resilience cycle is a proven framework used by top performers, athletes, and leaders. Studies in positive psychology show that those who actively engage in reflection and growth after adversity experience greater long-term success. The key is not just in enduring hardship, but in using it as a stepping stone for growth. The role of mindset in resilience. Resilience begins in the mind. The way you interpret challenges directly impacts how you respond to them. If you view setbacks as failures, they will feel like dead ends. But if you view them as learning opportunities, they become part of your growth process. The psychologist Carol Dweck, famous for her work on growth mindset, explains that individuals who see challenges as opportunities for growth are far more resilient in the face of adversity. This mindset is crucial for pursuing a vision because it allows you to see obstacles not as threats, but as chances to improve, adapt, and get closer to your goal. Imagine if every setback you encountered was not a failure, but a lesson. How would that change your approach to pursuing your vision? Instead of fearing obstacles, you would welcome them as necessary steps toward success. With this mindset, resilience becomes not just about survival, but about thriving through adversity. If resilience is a skill, how can you actively develop it? Here are 3 proven practices that will help you strengthen your resilience over time. 1. Practice reframing. When faced with a challenge, ask yourself, what can I learn from this? Reframing difficult situations as learning experiences helps you maintain a positive mindset and keeps you focused on growth rather than setbacks. This simple shift in perspective can make a huge difference in how you handle adversity. 2. Build a support system. Resilient people don't do it alone. They seek out support from friends, family, mentors, and communities. Building a strong support network ensures that you have people to lean on during tough times. Surround yourself with individuals who believe in your vision and can provide encouragement when you need it most. 3. Focus on what you can control. One of the biggest sources of stress during adversity is the feeling of being out of control. Resilient people focus on the things they can control and let go of what they can't. By narrowing your focus to what's within your power, you reduce stress and increase your ability to adapt. The story of Thomas Edison. Few stories illustrate resilience better than that of Thomas Edison. The inventor of the light bulb didn't succeed overnight. In fact, he failed over 1,000 times before finally creating a working model. When asked about his repeated failures, Edison famously replied, "I have not failed. I've just found 10,000 ways that won't work." Edison's resilience was his greatest strength. He didn't see failure as a reason to quit. He saw it as a necessary part of the process. His ability to adapt, recover, and grow from each failure is what ultimately led to his success. Without resilience, the light bulb might never have been invented. Resilience is not just a skill, it's your superpower. It's what allows you to keep moving forward when the road becomes uncertain. It's what turns obstacles into opportunities, failures into lessons, and setbacks into stepping stones. The more resilient you become, the more unstoppable you are in the pursuit of your vision. Take a moment to reflect on your own resilience. Think of a time when you faced adversity and came out stronger on the other side. What did you learn from that experience? How can you apply those lessons to your current journey? Now, imagine how resilient you could become if you actively worked on strengthening this skill. With resilience as your foundation, there's no challenge too great and no setback too permanent. You have everything you need to keep moving forward, no matter what lies ahead. What is one challenge you are currently facing in your pursuit of your vision? How can you use the resilience cycle, adapt, recover, grow to overcome this challenge? Identify a small step you can take today to build your resilience. It might be reframing a recent setback, reaching out to someone for support, or focusing on one aspect of your journey that you can control. Write it down and commit to putting it into action. Chapter 5. Strategies for moving forward without guarantees. One of the most daunting aspects of pursuing a vision is the absence of guarantees. There are no promises that your effort will pay off, no assurance that the outcome will align with your expectations. And yet, despite this uncertainty, those who succeed are the ones who move forward regardless of the risks. The question is, how do you keep pushing ahead when you don't know what lies ahead? The answer lies in your ability to trust the process, lean into uncertainty, and equip yourself with strategies that give you the confidence to keep going even without a roadmap. Why we crave certainty. Human beings are hardwired to seek certainty. Our brains prefer structure, predictability, and control, which is why stepping into the unknown feels so uncomfortable. But here's the paradox: waiting for certainty is often what keeps us stuck. We long for guarantees, but the very act of waiting for them prevents us from making progress. Studies in behavioral psychology explain why the absence of guarantees triggers hesitation. According to research, the brain's need for certainty stems from its desire to predict and prepare for future outcomes. When faced with uncertainty, the brain enters a state of cognitive dissonance, where the gap between expectation and reality creates discomfort. However, while the brain craves control, growth happens in the spaces where control is absent. It's in the messy, unpredictable moments of life that we learn, adapt, and ultimately succeed. The key to moving forward without guarantees is learning to let go of the need for certainty. This doesn't mean abandoning logic or strategy, but it does mean accepting that you won't always have all the answers up front. Learning to embrace the unknown is about developing trust in yourself, trust in the process, and trust that you will figure things out as you go. Think of a time when you were faced with an important decision but didn't have all the information you wanted. Maybe it was choosing a new job, starting a business, or making a significant life change. Despite the uncertainty, you eventually made a decision, and once you did, things started to fall into place. This is what happens when we take action despite the lack of guarantees. The path becomes clearer with each step. The unknown is not your enemy. It's the space where growth, innovation, and opportunity reside. The sooner you learn to let go of the need for guarantees, the sooner you can make real progress toward your vision. Now that we've acknowledged the discomfort of uncertainty, let's talk about practical ways to move forward even when you don't have all the answers. Here are 3 key strategies that will help you build confidence and keep you on track. 1. Make informed decisions with limited information. When you don't have guarantees, you often have to make decisions with incomplete information. The goal isn't to wait for everything to be clear, but to gather as much relevant information as you can and then act. Decision-making expert Gary Klein suggests that the best way to approach uncertainty is through satisficing, a process where you gather enough information to make a good enough decision rather than waiting for a perfect one. Klein's research shows that successful people don't wait for ideal conditions. They gather as much relevant data as possible, weigh the risks and rewards, and then take action. They understand that hesitation can be more damaging than taking an informed risk. The key is to avoid analysis paralysis by acknowledging that no decision will ever be 100% risk-free. Reflect on a decision you've been postponing because you're waiting for more certainty. Ask yourself, what information do I have right now that can help me move forward? What's the next smallest step I can take to gather more clarity? The moment you stop waiting for guarantees, you free yourself to take bold action. 2. Break down big moves into smaller steps. Big decisions can feel overwhelming, especially when there are no guarantees. To prevent yourself from becoming paralyzed by the magnitude of the decision, break it down into smaller, manageable steps. By taking incremental steps, you not only make progress but also reduce the emotional weight of uncertainty. Psychologists call this the progress principle, the idea that the single most important motivator in achieving goals is making consistent, visible progress. Studies have shown that when people see themselves making progress, even in small ways, they are more likely to stay committed to their long-term goals. By focusing on small steps, you build momentum and confidence, even when the bigger picture remains unclear. Consider a large goal or vision you've been hesitant to pursue. What is one small, tangible action you can take today that will move you closer to that goal? Maybe it's sending an email, doing research, or making a phone call. The action itself doesn't have to be monumental, but the momentum it creates will be. The more small steps you take, the more progress you'll make, and with progress comes clarity. 3. Focus on what you can control. One of the greatest sources of stress during uncertain times is feeling like you're not in control. While you can't control every variable, you can control your actions, mindset, and response to uncertainty. The key is to focus your energy on what is within your control and let go of the rest. The concept of locus of control, introduced by psychologist Julian Rotter, is crucial here. People with an internal locus of control believe that they have the power to influence outcomes through their actions. On the other hand, those with an external locus of control believe that outside forces determine their fate. Research shows that individuals with a strong internal locus of control are more resilient in the face of uncertainty because they focus on the things they can influence rather than worrying about what's beyond their control. Think about a current challenge where uncertainty is weighing you down. What aspects of this situation are within your control? It could be your attitude, your effort, or the next step you take. Now shift your focus entirely to those aspects and commit to taking one positive action today. When you focus on what you can control, the weight of uncertainty becomes lighter. You're no longer waiting for external circumstances to dictate your next move. You're empowered to take action. One of the hardest lessons in life is learning to trust the process, especially when things don't seem to be moving in your favor. But here's the thing: progress is not always linear. The path toward your vision will have setbacks, detours, and moments of doubt. Trusting the process means accepting that while you can't control everything, you can control how you show up, how you persevere, and how you adapt to challenges. Consider the journey of Steve Jobs. After being ousted from Apple, the company he co-founded, Jobs didn't know if he would ever return to the tech world in the same capacity. But instead of waiting for the perfect opportunity, he trusted the process, focusing on what he could control. Jobs went on to start Next, a computer company that wasn't an immediate success but eventually led to his triumphant return to Apple. His willingness to move forward without guarantees, trusting the process, ultimately paved the way for Apple's resurgence as a global powerhouse. Trusting the process doesn't mean passivity. It means staying committed to your vision, adapting to challenges, and believing that each step you take will bring you closer to success, even when the outcome is unclear. Moving forward without guarantees can feel like walking through a fog. You can't see everything clearly, but as long as you keep moving, the path will start to reveal itself. The key is to combine informed decisions with action, taking one step at a time and trusting that you will figure it out along the way. What decision have you been postponing because you're waiting for more certainty? How would your life change if you committed to moving forward despite the unknowns? Take a moment to reflect on how you can apply these strategies to your current situation. The truth is, you'll never have all the guarantees you want. But if you trust the process and keep taking steps forward, you'll be amazed at how things start to unfold. What area of your life or business are you waiting to move forward in because of uncertainty? How can you apply one of the 3 strategies, making informed decisions, breaking down big moves into small steps, or focusing on what you can control, to take action today? Write down one decision or step you've been hesitant to take because you're waiting for guarantees. Identify what information you have now, what small step you can take, and what part of the process is within your control, and commit to acting on it this week. Chapter 6. The Role of Community and Support. Pursuing a vision is often painted as a solo journey, but the truth is, no one succeeds alone. Behind every great accomplishment is a network of support, people who offer encouragement, guidance, and perspective when the road ahead seems uncertain. Building a strong support system is not just a luxury, it's essential for turning your vision into reality. If you're serious about navigating uncertainty and achieving your goals, you need a community. It's the people around you who will help you stay grounded when the unknown feels overwhelming and push you forward when doubt sets in. Humans are social creatures by nature. Our brains are wired to seek connection and community. This isn't just a cultural preference, it's rooted in biology. The support of others not only makes us feel emotionally safe, but also helps us process challenges, solve problems, and persevere in difficult times. According to research in social psychology, one of the most critical factors in overcoming adversity is social support. A study conducted by researchers at the University of Michigan found that people with strong support systems had higher levels of resilience and lower levels of stress when facing uncertainty. The presence of supportive relationships leads to increased feelings of safety and confidence, enabling individuals to push through even the toughest challenges. Support systems act like a safety net. They catch us when we fall and help us bounce back faster. There's a concept called collective efficacy, the idea that groups of people who work together toward a common goal can achieve more than any individual could alone. This principle applies to pursuing your vision. When you have a group of people rooting for your success, you gain access to more resources, ideas, and emotional support than you would on your own. Think of a time when someone gave you encouragement at a moment when you were ready to give up. Maybe it was a mentor, a friend, or even a family member who reminded you of your capabilities. That simple act of encouragement likely gave you the strength to keep moving forward. Now imagine building a network of people who consistently encourage, challenge, and support you on your journey. Instead of facing the unknown alone, you'd be walking alongside a group of people who believe in you and your vision. While we all need support, the type of support we require varies depending on where we are in our journey. Here are 3 essential types of support that can help you navigate uncertainty. 1. Mentors and coaches. Mentors are people who have walked the path before you. They offer wisdom, guidance, and perspective based on their own experiences. Coaches, on the other hand, are professionals trained to help you unlock your potential and navigate challenges. Both mentors and coaches play a crucial role in helping you make informed decisions, avoid common pitfalls, and stay motivated. Research from the Journal of Vocational Behavior shows that individuals who work with mentors or coaches experience higher levels of success and satisfaction in both their personal and professional lives. Mentorship provides insight that accelerates growth, while coaching offers accountability and tools for overcoming obstacles. If you don't already have a mentor or coach, consider seeking one out. They can offer a perspective that you might not see and provide actionable steps to keep you on track. 2. Accountability partners are people who help you stay on track by holding you accountable for your goals. Whether it's a friend, colleague, or peer, having someone who regularly checks in on your progress can make a significant difference in your ability to follow through on your commitments. Have you ever noticed how much more likely you are to stick to a goal when someone is checking in on you? That's the power of accountability. Accountability partners create a sense of responsibility, not only to yourself but also to someone else. The simple act of knowing that someone is expecting progress from you can push you to take action when motivation is low. Think about a goal you've been struggling to pursue. How might your progress change if you had someone regularly checking in on you? Imagine what you could achieve if someone was there to encourage you every step of the way. 3. Not every form of support needs to be practical or strategic. Sometimes we need people who simply believe in us, listen to us, and remind us that we're capable. Emotional supporters provide the kind of encouragement that keeps us going during tough times. These are the friends, family members, or loved ones who lift us up when we're feeling down. Emotional support has been shown to reduce stress and increase overall well-being. In a study published in Health Psychology, Researchers found that individuals who had access to emotional support during stressful situations exhibited lower levels of cortisol, a stress hormone, and reported greater feelings of resilience. In times of uncertainty, emotional supporters are often the ones who help us keep our mental and emotional well-being intact. Now that you understand the importance of support, the next step is to actively build your network. Don't wait for people to come to you. Take intentional steps to surround yourself with those who will uplift and empower you. Here are 3 strategies to build a strong support network. 1. Seek out mentors and coaches. If you don't already have a mentor or coach, start by identifying people in your field or community whose experience you admire. Reach out to them with a clear, respectful request for mentorship or guidance. Many people are willing to mentor others but don't offer unless asked. Don't be afraid to ask for help. You'll be surprised at how many people are willing to share their wisdom. 2. Find an accountability partner. Consider partnering with someone who has similar goals or is pursuing their own vision. You can check in with each other weekly or bi-weekly to discuss progress, setbacks, and next steps. Having someone who holds you accountable can make a huge difference in staying committed to your journey. 3. Nurture relationships with emotional supporters. Sometimes we take our closest supporters for granted. Don't forget to nurture the relationships with those who offer you emotional support. Show gratitude for the friends, family members, and loved ones who believe in you. Let them know how much their encouragement means to you, and don't hesitate to lean on them when the road gets tough. One of the most powerful examples of the importance of community in achieving success is seen in the entrepreneurial world. Entrepreneurs like Richard Branson and Oprah Winfrey didn't build their empires alone. They surrounded themselves with mentors, advisors, and supporters who guided them along the way. And consider Oprah's story. Throughout her career, Oprah has credited much of her success to the people she surrounded herself with, mentors like Maya Angelou and emotional supporters like Gayle King. Oprah didn't climb to the top by herself. She built a strong support network that helped her navigate the highs and lows of her career. This isn't just true for celebrities and entrepreneurs, it's true for all of us. Success is rarely a solo endeavor. It's the people who stand by us and push us forward that make the difference between giving up and breaking through. When uncertainty strikes, it's easy to retreat inward and try to navigate the challenges alone. But leaning on your community during these moments is a sign of strength, not weakness. Your support network can provide the clarity, encouragement, and perspective you need to keep going, even when the path isn't clear. Take a moment to think about the people in your life who have supported you in the past, who encouraged you when you felt like giving up, who believed in your vision when you doubted yourself. Now, consider how you can actively cultivate those relationships moving forward. Surround yourself with people who see your potential, who believe in your vision, and who are willing to help you navigate the unknown. The stronger your support system, the more resilient and capable you'll become. Who are the people in your current support system? How can you strengthen your relationships with those who offer you mentorship, accountability, or emotional support? Identify one person you can reach out to today to build or nurture your support network. It could be asking a mentor for advice, checking in with an accountability partner, or expressing gratitude to someone who offers you emotional support. Take a step toward fostering stronger connections that will support you on your journey. Chapter 7. The Art of Letting Go. If there's one thing that holds most people back from achieving their vision, it's the need for control. We want to know how things will turn out. We crave certainty, predictability, and assurance that if we put in the effort, the results will align perfectly with our expectations. But here's the truth: control is an illusion. The more we try to control every aspect of our journey, the more we create friction, frustration, and resistance. The key to navigating uncertainty and thriving despite the unknown is learning to let go of the need for control and trusting the process. Letting go doesn't mean giving up. It means releasing the tight grip on outcomes and embracing the flow of the journey. It's about finding peace in the process, even when you don't know exactly how things will unfold. Why we struggle to let go. We live in a society that values certainty and control. From a young age, we're taught to plan, prepare, and control our environment to avoid risks and failures. It's ingrained in us to believe that the more control we exert, the better our chances of success. But the reality is that trying to control every aspect of your journey often leads to stress, anxiety, and burnout. From a psychological standpoint, the need for control stems from our fear of the unknown. Neuroscience explains that the brain is wired to avoid uncertainty because it perceives it as a threat. This triggers the amygdala, the brain's fear center, leading to a fight, flight, or freeze response. While this was useful for our ancestors facing physical threats, it's less helpful in today's world, where uncertainty is often part of growth and success. Learning to let go of control is not about abandoning responsibility. It's about understanding that some things are beyond your control, and that releasing your grip on those things allows you to focus on what you can influence. The power of surrender. When you release the need to control every detail, you unlock something extraordinary, the space for possibility. The more tightly you cling to how you think things should unfold, the more you close yourself off to new ideas, unexpected breakthroughs, and pathways that could lead to even greater success than you ever imagined. Think about a time in your life when something didn't go as planned. Perhaps you tried to control every detail, only to feel frustrated when things didn't align perfectly. Now imagine if you had let go of your rigid expectations and trusted the process. What might have unfolded? What new opportunities or insights could have emerged if you had allowed the journey to take its natural course? Letting go doesn't mean passivity. It means shifting your focus from controlling outcomes to embracing the journey. It means trusting that even if things don't go according to plan, they are still moving in the right direction. Letting go of control is a skill that can be developed with practice. Here are 3 key strategies to help you release your grip on uncertainty and trust the process. 1. Focus on intentions, not outcomes. When you focus solely on the outcome, you become attached to a specific result. This attachment creates stress, especially when things don't go exactly as planned. Instead of fixating on outcomes, shift your focus to your intentions. Ask yourself, what is my intention in pursuing this vision? When you're clear on your intentions, you can move forward with flexibility, knowing that even if the outcome is different than expected, your core purpose remains intact. Research in mindfulness and goal setting shows that individuals who focus on intentions rather than rigid goals experience greater satisfaction and lower stress levels. By focusing on the why behind your actions instead of the specific how or when, you create space for creativity, adaptability, and flow. Reflect on a goal or vision you've been working toward. Have you been overly attached to a specific outcome? How might your journey change if you focused more on your intentions and trusted that the outcome will unfold as it should? 2. Embrace uncertainty as a catalyst for growth. Uncertainty often feels uncomfortable, but it's also where growth happens. When you're in control of everything, you're operating within the confines of what you already know. Letting go of control means stepping into the unknown, where new possibilities, perspectives, and opportunities can emerge. A study published in the Journal of Personality and Social Psychology found that individuals who embrace uncertainty as part of their journey report higher levels of creativity and innovation. When you stop trying to control every detail, your mind opens up to new ideas and solutions that you may not have considered before. Think of a time when you embraced uncertainty, and something unexpected but positive came from it. Maybe a project took a different direction, but it led to an even better outcome. How can you bring that same openness to your current vision? 3. Release the need for perfection. Perfectionism is one of the biggest barriers to letting go. The need for everything to be perfect creates an impossible standard and leads to disappointment when things don't align exactly as planned. When you let go of the need for perfection, you free yourself to take action, make mistakes, and learn along the way. Psychologist Brené Brown has written extensively about the dangers of perfectionism, describing it as a shield we use to protect ourselves from failure or judgment. However, Brown argues that perfectionism often leads to paralysis, preventing us from taking risks or embracing new opportunities. By releasing the need for perfection, you allow yourself to move forward, even when the path is messy or unclear. Think about a project, goal, or dream you've been delaying because you're waiting for the perfect moment or the perfect plan. What would happen if you let go of that need for perfection and took action anyway? Oprah Winfrey's journey. One of the most inspiring examples of letting go and trusting the process comes from Oprah Winfrey's career. Early in her television career, Oprah faced a significant setback when her show was canceled and she was demoted to a smaller role. At the time, she could have tried to control every aspect of her career, holding on to the belief that things needed to go a certain way for her to succeed. But instead, she let go of rigid expectations and focused on her core intention to inspire and uplift people through storytelling. By letting go of the need to control every outcome, Oprah was open to new opportunities. When she launched The Oprah Winfrey Show, she trusted the process and allowed the show to evolve organically. The result? Oprah became one of the most influential media figures in history, and her show transformed millions of lives around the world. Oprah's story is a reminder that letting go doesn't mean losing control, it means gaining freedom. When you stop trying to control every detail and start trusting the process, you create space for even greater success than you imagined. Trusting the process in your own life. Learning to trust the process is not easy, especially when the unknown feels overwhelming. But the more you practice letting go of control, the more you'll find that the journey becomes smoother, more joyful, and more aligned with your true vision. Take a moment to reflect on an area of your life where you've been holding on too tightly. What would happen if you let go of the need for control and trusted the process? How might your journey shift if you embraced the flow of the unknown? Trusting the process doesn't mean abandoning your vision. It means staying committed to your intention while being open to how the path unfolds. It's about knowing that even when things don't go as planned, they are still moving in the right direction. In what area of your life are you struggling to let go of control? How can you shift your focus from rigid outcomes to trusting the process? Identify one aspect of your vision or goal where you've been trying to control the outcome. Take a small step today to release that need for control, whether it's delegating a task, allowing flexibility in your plans, or focusing on your intentions rather than perfection. Chapter 8. Reframing failure as growth. Failure. It's a word that carries so much weight, disappointment, frustration, and sometimes even shame. But what if failure wasn't something to fear or avoid? What if it were, in fact, one of the most valuable tools for growth and success? Every visionary encounters failure. It's inevitable when you're pursuing big dreams and navigating the unknown. But those who succeed aren't the ones who avoid failure. They're the ones who learn from it, adapt, and use it as a stepping stone toward growth. Reframing failure as an opportunity for growth is one of the most powerful shifts you can make on your journey. We've been conditioned to see failure as something negative, something to be avoided at all costs. From an early age, we're taught that success is linear. If you work hard and follow the rules, things should go according to plan. But when they don't, we're left feeling as if we've done something wrong, that our efforts were wasted, or that we're not capable of achieving our goals. Psychologists explain that the fear of failure is often rooted in a phenomenon known as loss aversion, the tendency to prefer avoiding losses rather than acquiring equivalent gains. This means that the pain of losing or failing feels much more intense than the pleasure of succeeding. However, avoiding failure altogether can be even more damaging, as it prevents us from taking risks, trying new things, and ultimately growing. The truth is, failure is not the opposite of success. It's a part of the journey towards success. Without failure, there is no learning. Without mistakes, there is no improvement. Every time you fail, you gain valuable insights that can propel you forward. A new way to see failure. One of the most powerful tools for reframing failure is adopting a growth mindset. Pioneered by psychologist Carol Dweck, the growth mindset is the belief that abilities and intelligence can be developed through effort, learning, and persistence. In contrast, a fixed mindset assumes that our abilities are static and unchangeable. With a growth mindset, failure is not a sign that you're incapable. It's simply feedback, information that helps you learn what didn't work so you can adjust and improve. It shifts your focus from "I failed" to "What can I learn from this?" Think of a time when you faced a setback. How did you respond? Did you view it as a reflection of your abilities, or did you see it as an opportunity to learn and grow? If you can shift your mindset to view failures as learning experiences, you'll find that they're not obstacles, they're part of the path forward. Reframing failure takes practice, but once you learn to embrace it as a growth opportunity, it becomes one of your greatest assets. Here are 3 key strategies to help you reframe failure and use it to fuel your success. 1. See failure as feedback, not a final verdict. Failure doesn't define you. It's simply data, information that tells you what didn't work. Instead of viewing it as a personal flaw, see it as an opportunity to gain valuable insights. The key is to ask yourself, what can I learn from this? What can I do differently next time? Research shows that people who view failure as feedback are more likely to persist in the face of adversity and achieve long-term success. A study from the Journal of Applied Psychology found that individuals who adopt a feedback-oriented approach to failure demonstrate greater resilience and are more likely to reach their goals compared to those who see failure as a reflection of their abilities. Think of a recent setback you've experienced. Instead of focusing on what went wrong, reflect on what you learned from the experience. How can you apply that lesson moving forward? By reframing failure as feedback, you give yourself the freedom to keep trying, knowing that every failure brings you closer to success. 2. Celebrate small wins along the way. One of the reasons failure feels so devastating is because we often focus solely on the end goal, ignoring the progress we've made along the way. Celebrating small wins helps you recognize that even when things don't go perfectly, you're still moving forward. The concept of incremental progress has been widely studied in psychology, with research showing that recognizing small wins boosts motivation and resilience. Harvard Business School's Teresa Amabile calls this the progress principle, the idea that making consistent, small progress toward a goal is one of the most powerful motivators. Take a moment to reflect on the progress you've made toward your vision. What small wins have you achieved, even if the final outcome isn't what you expected? Celebrate those wins as evidence that you're on the right track. Each small step brings you closer to your vision, regardless of the setbacks along the way. 3. Use failure to build resilience. Every time you fail and get back up, you strengthen your resilience. Failure teaches you that you can survive setbacks, adapt, and come back stronger. The more you embrace failure as part of your journey, the more resilient you become. Studies on resilience have shown that individuals who experience failure and learn from it develop a greater ability to cope with future challenges. The American Psychological Association highlights that resilience is not just about bouncing back, but also about using adversity to grow and become stronger. Each failure you experience builds your capacity to handle the next challenge. Think about a time when you experienced a major setback. How did that failure help you grow? How did it shape your ability to handle challenges in the future? Each time you face failure and continue moving forward, you build resilience, making you more capable of navigating future obstacles with confidence. Turning failure into fuel. Few stories exemplify the power of failure more than that of J.K. Rowling, the author of the Harry Potter series. Before Rowling became a literary sensation, she faced a series of failures that would have crushed most people. She was a struggling single mother, living on welfare, and faced multiple rejections from publishers. Her manuscript for Harry Potter was rejected by 12 different publishers before it was finally accepted. Instead of viewing these rejections as a sign that she wasn't cut out to be a writer, Rowling used them as fuel to keep going. She believed in her vision, and every failure was simply feedback guiding her toward success. Today, Rowling is one of the most successful authors in the world, but she often credits her failures as the foundation of her success. Rowling's story is a powerful reminder that failure is not a dead end, it's part of the journey. The key is to keep moving forward, knowing that each setback is bringing you closer to your vision. Reframing failure is not about denying the disappointment or frustration that comes with setbacks. It's about recognizing that failure is not a reflection of your worth or abilities. It's a necessary part of the process, and it holds valuable lessons that can propel you toward success. Take a moment to reflect on a recent failure or setback. How can you reframe that experience as an opportunity for growth? What lessons did you learn, and how can you apply them to your journey moving forward? By shifting your perspective on failure, you'll find that it no longer feels like an obstacle. Instead, it becomes a powerful tool for growth and learning. When you see failure as feedback, you unlock the freedom to keep trying, keep learning, and ultimately succeed. How have you viewed failure in the past? How might your approach change if you saw failure as an opportunity for growth rather than a setback? Think about a recent failure you've experienced. Write down 3 lessons you learned from that experience and how you can apply them to your current journey. Then, identify one small action you can take to move forward, using that failure as fuel for growth. Chapter 9. Maintaining momentum when results are uncertain. Pursuing a vision is exhilarating at first. You're energized, driven, and full of excitement for what lies ahead. But as time passes, reality sets in. Progress slows, and the results you expected might not come as quickly as you hoped. In these moments, doubt creeps in. You start to question whether all the effort is worth it. This is where many dreams fade, not because the vision wasn't achievable, but because maintaining momentum in the face of uncertainty is hard. The key to success isn't just starting strong, it's learning how to keep moving forward, even when the results aren't immediately visible. It's natural to feel discouraged when you don't see results as quickly as you expected. We live in a society that values instant gratification, quick wins, and immediate feedback. But the reality is that most meaningful success takes time. There's often a long gap between effort and reward, and during that gap, it's easy to feel like you're spinning your wheels. Psychologists refer to this phenomenon as the effort-reward imbalance. When we put in a lot of effort without seeing immediate results, our brains start to question whether the effort is worth it. This leads to feelings of frustration and can make us want to give up. However, understanding that delayed results are a natural part of the process can help you maintain motivation during these challenging periods. Momentum isn't about dramatic leaps forward. It's about consistent action over time. Even when results aren't immediately visible, every step you take builds momentum, and that momentum compounds. Think of it like pushing a boulder uphill. At first, it's incredibly difficult, and you might not see much progress. But as you keep pushing, the boulder starts to move more easily, and eventually you gain momentum. Think about a time when you worked on something for a long period without seeing results, but eventually things clicked. Maybe it was a project, a personal goal, or a skill you were developing. The progress didn't come all at once, but it built over time. How did that steady effort pay off in the long run? Maintaining momentum is about trusting that each small action, even when it feels insignificant, is moving you closer to your vision. Success rarely comes in big, sudden breakthroughs. It comes from consistent effort over time. How to keep moving when results aren't immediate. Staying motivated when you can't see the finish line requires a mix of mindset shifts and practical strategies. Here are 3 ways to maintain momentum, even when progress seems slow. 1. Break down your vision into smaller milestones. When you're working toward a big goal, it's easy to become overwhelmed by the distance between where you are and where you want to be. Breaking your vision down into smaller milestones makes the journey more manageable and allows you to celebrate progress along the way. Research in goal setting shows that individuals who break large goals into smaller, incremental steps are more likely to stay motivated and reach their goals. A study published in the Journal of Personality and Social Psychology found that people who regularly track their progress towards smaller milestones experience higher levels of satisfaction and motivation. Take a look at your current vision or goal. What's one smaller milestone you can work toward in the next week or month? Instead of focusing on the ultimate outcome, focus on that next small step. Every milestone you achieve is a sign that you're moving forward, even when the bigger results aren't immediately visible. 2. Embrace the plateau as part of the process. Progress isn't linear. There will be times when you hit a plateau, when it feels like you're putting in the same amount of effort but not seeing any additional results. Instead of viewing the plateau as a sign that you're failing, embrace it as a natural part of the process. In her book Mastery, author and martial artist George Leonard describes the concept of the mastery curve. This curve shows that growth happens in spurts, followed by plateaus. The plateaus are where the real learning happens, where you build the foundation for your next leap forward. If you can stay committed during the plateau, you'll be ready when the next breakthrough comes. Think about a time when you experienced a plateau in your life, whether in your career, a relationship, or a personal goal. How did you handle it? What helped you push through that period? By embracing the plateau and continuing to put in the work, you're setting yourself up for long-term success. 3. Stay connected to your why. When results aren't coming as quickly as you'd like, it's easy to lose sight of why you started in the first place. That's why it's essential to regularly reconnect with your deeper purpose, the reason behind your vision. When you stay focused on your why, you'll find the motivation to keep moving, even when the external rewards aren't there yet. Simon Sinek, in his book Start With Why, explains that individuals and organizations that stay connected to their purpose, why they do what they do, are more likely to persist through challenges. When you're driven by a deep sense of purpose, the setbacks and slow progress become part of a larger journey rather than reasons to give up. Take a few moments to reconnect with your why. Why did you start pursuing this vision in the first place? What motivated you in the beginning? Write down your why and keep it somewhere visible. When you're feeling discouraged, remind yourself of that deeper purpose and use it as fuel to keep going. Success takes time. When we look at successful people, it's tempting to assume that their achievements came quickly or easily. But if you dig deeper, you'll often find that their success was the result of years, even decades of consistent effort. They didn't give up when results were slow. They stayed committed to their vision and trusted that their work would pay off in the long run. Consider the story of Airbnb. Today, Airbnb is a global brand valued at billions of dollars, but it wasn't an overnight success. In the early days, the founders, Brian Chesky, Joe Gebbia, and Nathan Blicharczyk, struggled to gain traction. Their initial launch was met with lukewarm interest, and they even resorted to selling cereal to make ends meet. For years, they worked tirelessly without seeing the massive success they dreamed of. But instead of giving up, they kept pushing forward, refining their business model and learning from their setbacks. Slowly, momentum began to build. Today, Airbnb has revolutionized the hospitality industry, but its success was built on years of persistence, not instant results. Airbnb's story is a powerful reminder that the road to success is often long and full of setbacks. But if you stay committed, keep taking action, and maintain momentum, the results will come in time. How to measure progress when results aren't visible. When results aren't immediately visible, it's important to find other ways to measure progress. Here are 3 ways to track your momentum, even when the big wins haven't arrived yet. 1. Track your effort, not just outcomes. Instead of only measuring your success by results, track the effort you're putting in. For example, if you're writing a book, track the number of words you write each day, rather than focusing on when the book will be finished. By focusing on what's within your control, your effort, you'll feel a greater sense of accomplishment, even when the final outcome is still far off. 2. Celebrate progress, no matter how small. Celebrate every small win along the way, whether it's a new connection, a piece of positive feedback, or a small step toward your goal. These celebrations remind you that progress is happening, even if it's not as fast as you'd like. 3. Take time to reflect on how much you've grown since you started. Maybe the results aren't there yet, but how has this journey changed you? What skills, insights, or strengths have you developed along the way? Recognizing your personal growth is a powerful motivator for continuing the journey. Pursuing a vision is not about instant gratification. It's about staying committed to the journey, even when the rewards are delayed. Maintaining momentum in the face of uncertainty requires faith in the process, trust in your abilities, and a willingness to keep moving forward, even when the path isn't clear. Take a moment to reflect on your current journey. What progress have you made that you might not have acknowledged yet? How can you measure your momentum, even when the results aren't immediately visible? The road to success is long, but every step you take, no matter how small, is bringing you closer to your vision. How do you currently measure progress in your journey? Are there small wins or milestones you've overlooked because you were focused on the end goal? Identify one way to break down your current vision into smaller milestones. Set a goal for the next week or month and focus on achieving that smaller step rather than worrying about the overall outcome. Celebrate that progress as a sign that you're moving forward. Chapter 10. Vision fulfilled. What happens after the unknown? You've learned to embrace uncertainty, face your fears, and step into the unknown. You've pushed through setbacks, built resilience, and stayed committed even when the path was unclear. And now, perhaps, you're starting to see the fruits of your efforts. But what happens when you reach your vision? What comes after the unknown? The truth is, the journey doesn't end when you achieve your vision, it evolves. Achieving one goal is not the finish line, it's the starting point for new possibilities. Success is a moving target, and the most fulfilled people are those who continually redefine their vision and remain open to growth. The joy of completion. There's something deeply satisfying about reaching a long-held goal. It's the moment when all your hard work, persistence, and sacrifices come together, and you get to experience the reward of your efforts. Whether your vision was to start a business, write a book, or pursue a personal dream, arriving at this point is something to be celebrated. Take a moment to reflect on everything you've accomplished so far. Even if you're not at the final destination yet, think about the progress you've made since you first set out on this journey. How have you grown? What have you learned about yourself and your abilities? The joy of completion is real, but it's important to recognize that this moment is not just an ending, it's also a new beginning. The importance of reflection. As you reach the fulfillment of one vision, it's essential to take time to reflect on the journey that brought you here. What challenges did you overcome? What moments of uncertainty pushed you to grow? What lessons did you learn along the way that will serve you in the future? Research on goal setting suggests that individuals who reflect on their journey after achieving a goal are more likely to feel satisfied and confident in their abilities. This reflection not only allows you to appreciate your growth but also prepares you for future challenges. In a study published in the Journal of Personality and Social Psychology, researchers found that reflecting on past successes helps build self-efficacy, which is the belief in your ability to succeed in future endeavors. By reflecting on your journey, you give yourself the gift of perspective. You recognize that the path wasn't always easy, but you made it through. And now, you have the confidence to tackle whatever comes next. Redefining your vision. Achieving your vision is a powerful milestone, but it's not the end of your growth. As you reach one goal, it's important to ask yourself, what's next? What new vision excites you? How can you continue to push your boundaries and explore new possibilities? Think of your vision like a horizon. No matter how far you walk, the horizon always stretches further. Achieving one goal is not the end of your journey, it's simply the moment when you set your sights on the next horizon. What new possibilities excite you? What are you curious about that you haven't yet explored? Many of the most successful people in the world didn't stop after reaching their initial vision. They used their achievements as stepping stones to dream bigger, to challenge themselves further, and to create new, exciting goals. New visions, new challenges. With every new vision comes new challenges. Just as you faced uncertainty and fear at the beginning of this journey, you'll likely face those same feelings as you pursue your next goal. But now, you're equipped with the tools to navigate those challenges. You've built resilience, embraced uncertainty, and learned how to move forward without guarantees. Consider the story of Steve Jobs. After founding Apple and achieving incredible success, Jobs didn't settle. When he was ousted from the company, he faced one of the biggest setbacks of his career. But instead of retreating, he set new goals, starting next, a company that would later be acquired by Apple, allowing him to return and lead one of the most extraordinary corporate turnarounds in history. Jobs never stopped setting new visions, and his willingness to face new challenges is what made him one of the most influential figures in technology. Like Jobs, you have the ability to redefine your vision at every stage of your journey. Each new challenge is an opportunity for growth, and with each vision, you'll continue to unlock more of your potential. Celebrating the journey. While it's essential to set new goals and look toward the future, it's equally important to take time to celebrate your journey. You've come a long way, and every step you've taken, whether it felt small or significant, has shaped who you are today. Think back to the early days of this journey. Remember when uncertainty felt overwhelming. Remember when you weren't sure if you could overcome the obstacles in front of you. And now, here you are, standing at the edge of fulfillment. You've not only moved through the unknown, but you've also thrived in it. Celebrate that progress. Celebrate your resilience. Celebrate the fact that you didn't give up when the road got tough. Staying open to the unknown will always be part of your journey. No matter how many visions you achieve, there will always be new challenges and uncertainties ahead. But now, you know that uncertainty is not something to fear. It's where growth happens. It's where possibilities are born. By staying open to the unknown, you keep yourself in a state of constant learning and evolution. The journey is never truly over because there's always more to discover, more to achieve, and more to become. Consider the example of Richard Branson, founder of the Virgin Group. After achieving success in the airline and music industries, Branson didn't stop. He continued to pursue new ventures, from space travel to humanitarian work, always willing to step into the unknown and take risks. His willingness to keep dreaming big and embracing uncertainty has made him one of the most versatile and successful entrepreneurs of our time. Like Branson, you can continue to evolve, explore, and push your boundaries. The unknown is no longer something to fear, it's your greatest ally. Moving forward with confidence. As you reflect on your journey and look toward the future, remember that you've already proven your ability to navigate uncertainty, face setbacks, and achieve your vision. You have the tools, the resilience, and the mindset to continue pursuing your dreams, no matter what challenges lie ahead. Take a moment to write down one new vision or goal that excites you. It doesn't have to be fully formed, just an idea or a direction that sparks your curiosity. How can you start moving toward that new vision, knowing that you now have the experience and strength to handle whatever comes next? The road ahead will have its share of unknowns, but you are ready. You've learned to trust the process, embrace failure, and stay committed to your vision. Now, it's time to move forward with confidence, knowing that the unknown is where your greatest possibilities lie. As you reflect on this journey, what lessons have you learned about yourself, your resilience, and your ability to navigate uncertainty? How can you apply those lessons to the next phase of your life? Set aside time to celebrate your progress. Whether it's a personal reflection, sharing your success with loved ones, or rewarding yourself for your hard work, take a moment to acknowledge how far you've come. Then, think about what's next. Write down one new vision or goal that excites you and commit to taking the first step toward it. Final words. As you close this book, remember that the journey you're on is uniquely yours. You've embraced uncertainty, faced your fears, and stepped into the unknown with courage. You've grown, learned, and pushed through challenges, proving to yourself that you are capable of more than you once imagined. But this is just the beginning. The path to your vision is not linear, and it's not about reaching a single destination. It's about continuing to evolve, staying open to new possibilities, and trusting yourself to navigate whatever comes next. There will always be moments of doubt, but you now have the tools, the mindset, and the resilience to keep moving forward. Every step, no matter how uncertain, brings you closer to the life you envision. So celebrate your progress, reflect on your journey, and don't be afraid to dream bigger. The unknown isn't something to fear, it's where your greatest potential lies. Trust in yourself and in the process, and keep moving forward with confidence. Your journey is far from over. This is just the beginning. Take care and be well.